Nick, what has two thumbs and is currently recording the 18th episode of their groundbreaking smash hit podcast, All Fart No Poop?
Well, I thought I knew the answer. I was going to say you, but then you said recording their podcast. And I thought, well, we've got more than two thumbs combined. So you really should have said, what's got four thumbs and are recording their podcast. Do you know what I mean?
You couldn't have just gone along with it, could you, mate?
No, well, see, this is the thing. If we just go along with it, then really who are we
Where does the thread end? How do we stop going along with it? You know, when do we... That's true. Much to think on, Nick.
This is brilliant. If we... Oh, my God, I never thought of it like this before.
You are... And I really
Bloody
can't stress
whack,
this
mate.
enough, Nick. Really the biggest cock on this planet.
That's fucking kind of you, mate. I will literally wear that badge with pride and honour.
The badge looks... Really? Because you're going to regret saying that, because the badge is... I'm going to be honest, Nick. The badge is a swastika.
Oh.
So maybe you want to take that comment back, huh? In this current climate, maybe you want to take that comment back? Or you're going to...
No.
Or you might just double down. You're going to double down on
down. No, I'm not double down.
You heard it here first. Nick Wilson's going to wear a swastika with honour, with pride and honour.
Oh, there's no honour or pride in that. It's just like a bell end.
The only sticker I want to be wearing with honour is one which says, "This man has got too much honour."
Too much honour. Or one that explicitly says, "This is not a swastika."
That'd be
then
nice.
I'd wear it. Then I'd wear it.
How are you doing anyway, mate? You good?
Good. Warm, even though the weather's less warm this week.
Well, I feel like it's now become... I mean, we have to begin by talking about the weather, and you've just jumped straight in with that. So.
It's true. It's because last week was so hot,
And this week's
that I
just...
feel like this week it's not.
It's miserable, mate. It's bloody miserable.
It's
That's what
bloody
it is.
miserable. That's what I was going to say. If for any people watching this podcast, I may look like I'm the most contrasty man in the world because there's no light behind me.
because the sun went away.
The sun disappeared.
Yeah, well,
so
that will happen when the sun just sort of packs it in.
it really will.
You know, we're really clinging on to life for the remaining hours. I assume we've got. So
true.
this is the final recording, and we're all
apocalypse
doomed
is
now.
coming, boy. There's a comet coming, and it's going to hit us.
No, but it's
meteorite comet.
One of them. What is the difference?
One of them.
There is a difference.
One of them. There is a difference.
there
One of them
is.
is like, I don't know.
Well, they didn't just come
Meteorite,
up with
I
two
think
words
is-
for the same thing, did they, mate? They're not.
Yeah.
They're scientists, right?
Well, they
They're not
might
bloody
have.
lunatics.
They might have thought, why not?
Yeah, true. I always wonder that with scientists. Like, there's lots of, you trust a lot of scientists, but there's nothing to stop a scientist just being like, why not just say this? And
who
then
comes up with
like
it?
the layman, me and you, we're not scientists. We're just going to go, sweet, that guy in a lab coat
Guess
said
that's
it.
it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, and also who names all of this shit? Like who is the first person to be like, that's a meteorite?
Yeah,
Well, might have been like, this is
well,
well
most things
fucking
in
fun.
science aren't they like named after the person that discovered it? I'm saying that, but that's not true about a lot of things. But I feel like that's a generalization you could possibly
I feel
make.
like that's with like inventions.
Yeah, true. You wouldn't.
Not things
there's
you
no one,
stumble across,
There's no one
you know?
walking around planet Earth called Meteorite fucking Johnson or something.
Janet Meteorite. Or
Oh, yeah,
something.
would be
I
their
mean,
last
there
name, wouldn't
probably is. There probably is someone.
That's true. There probably is. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good as well, mate. I am good.
Don't care. Rest of the podcast, I'm joking.
Shut up, you little mud
how are you doing?
I'm good. Like you, it's the weather's gone miserable, but it's still warm, and it's like,
muggy.
God, what do I even do with myself? What do I
That's the
even do?
worst when there's no reason for it to be this warm because there's no
Exactly.
sun and it's raining.
So whilst it's still warm, it's given me ample opportunity to continue drinking Fanta. And I thought, look, continuing on from last week's important, albeit brief, discussion of Fanta, I've got Fanta Lemon this week.
I thought you were going to say you found the Fanta Shikata.
No, I should have. Yeah, I'm thinking it back in my head now. It sounded like I was going to go with that, didn't it?
I thought that's what you were going to say. And actually,
She's still in her room.
deeply upset.
She's still in her room.
She's doing a chores. So,
but
she's
I've
not
got
around
Fanta Lemon,
today.
mate.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, that is exciting. But I had a beverage today to excite me.
Did you?
And that
Where's
was
this going?
I've been addicted to bubble tea recently. As of late,
you are
okay?
such a
I
bubble
have
tea
been
fiend.
addicted. Okay, I love it. Literally, like twice a week, I'll just get slap on that Uber Eats, whack out that Bubble Magic. It's called in Ealing, and I'll just fucking drink it. All right, but
I
today,
find it so weird.
this is what makes it.
Go
no,
on.
it's great. It's great. But this is what makes it exciting for me today. Is that
Right.
whilst I was stumbling upon my usual order, which is the juice is mango, strawberry, lychee, and peach.
I mean,
right?
that sounds like a great combination of flavors.
It's
I'm
a
not
great
here to dispute
combination.
that,
And
yeah.
then and I usually get it half sweet, so it's not really in your face sugary. It's just a bit like tea.
Wait, what? So they add? You can get it
No,
half
you
sweet.
can
Do
get
they add
they
sugar?
have it like there's like the normal one, and you can get it half sweet where it's like less sweet.
So it's just like diluted with water or some shit. It's not like they're just.
I don't know. I think there's like a different blend of it.
That is
I mean, who
strange,
knows?
right? That is strange to be able to get
Well,
something in half
they also
sweet.
have double sweet,
And
so it's
half
like,
sweet and
oh.
double sweet. Bubble tea. What planet you living
Yeah,
on,
but
mate?
then in it, I usually get either mango popping boba, right? Great
mango
stuff.
popping boba.
Those are the little balls in it.
They're called boba.
Yeah, they're called boba, mate.
Well, why isn't it called
Do you not
boba
know
tea?
this?
Why isn't it called boba tea?
It is in a lot of places.
Oh. No, I don't know
you
this. I'm
can-
clearly
yeah,
not very well
okay.
versed in this at all,
Well,
to be honest.
get yourself over to Japan, my friend, because I believe they would have your back
Would they?
on a stake.
Oh,
I
what?
meant head.
So they
I
wouldn't
meant
have my
head.
back. Yeah, you meant head.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
they'd
you said
have
is the
your head in a
opposite
second.
of them hurting me, yeah.
But what I was saying is, I'd usually either go for mango popping
All right.
boba,
This is long-winded, mate. So where are we going?
or strawberry popping boba.
And you got...
Okay, and I didn't realize until today that you could do two.
You can do both.
You can do as much popping, but you could fill the cup with
I
popping
have
boba
to be
if
honest,
you wanted
Nick. I feel your excitement. You're obviously
No,
very worked up about
please.
this. That's
Entertain me.
That's too much flavour.
to. Well, this is what I thought.
There's
and
such
then-
thing as too many fruits.
But I was sat there-
in your drink.
And do you know what the best bit? Only 50p extra.
I don't
Only
think it's.
50p.
I've got to be honest,
And
I
I
don't
sat
think it's
there.
worth it. I'd rather
Look,
have
my friend.
I'd rather have a more refined taste experience than pay 50p and
well,
not know what's
well.
happening in my mouth.
Well, see, we haven't got to the end of the story yet because I got that.
Okay.
I
Right.
got that.
Yeah.
It with the power at my fingertips as I was watching YouTube videos, ordering this fucking popping boba bubble tea. Right?
Wait, you were
And I
watching
thought,
YouTube videos about bubble tea while
No, that's
Oh,
unrelated. I was just just in a
Okay.
hole of YouTube. Right?
okay,
And I
okay.
thought the power's here. Double. Let's go. Let's fucking. I'm gonna double these popping boba because I
Right.
love the popping boba. Right?
Yeah.
It came. It comes. I look at it. Well, this looks nice. I realise there's probably more than 50% of this is just popping boba, and I was
that's
like,
a bad
oh,
thing?
oh shit, because I finished the drink in it, and there was like unheard of amounts of popping boba at the bottom of it, and I had to go through and suck them each out, and they were so sweet, and literally by the end I was literally like,
That sounds awful.
it was terrible. Don't overdo
so this
the boba.
This is a sad ending.
It's
I
a
thought
sad
this story
ending.
was going to places
See?
of happiness.
I had you there, didn't I?
You
I
really did the
fucking had
180.
You thought
You did
I was
the old
gonna-
180.
I did a 180, so it wasn't good. So the moral of the story is,
Yeah.
bubble tea's fantastic
Is
if
it?
you get the ratio that is
Okay.
just there.
The
One
only time-
amount of popping
The
boba.
only time I've ever had bubble tea was. Do you remember when you took me
Yeah,
to? I
look,
think it was
this was-
by. I think it must have been just.
It
off
was.
Of,
I remember where it was. It was
it's by Les Mis,
Bubbleology,
wasn't it?
just off Shaftesbury Avenue. Yeah, down
Yeah.
just about by Chinatown.
And you were like, "This is the greatest drink I have
Look.
ever had, and you are not going to disagree." And I was like, "All right, okay, let's go and get it." And you took me all the way to this place. You were like, "This is the place."
Yeah.
We stepped in, and you fumbled the order so bad.
I fumbled
that you
it
just.
so
she just
hard.
was saying words, and you were
Well-
like, "Yeah, I'm the pro at this." Yeah. You nodded to
Yeah,
everything.
look.
And the drink I had was.
It was-
nothing short of an absolute miserable disaster.
It was disgusting, and
was
I'll tell you
filthy.
what that is. And,
What
and
was
there
it?
isn't a moment that I haven't thought about this since, because
Yeah.
it pains me that was your first experience and I'd hyped up so much.
yeah, well,
because
it's pretty
basically,
much done it for me, mate. I don't think I want to go back.
Well, the first time they didn't ask me about. They were just like, "Yeah, would you want it?" And I was like, "I'll have that one with the popping mango things. Cool.
I'll have the bubble."
Yeah, literally that basically. And then the second time when I took you, they were like tapioca, and I was like, "Never heard that word in my life ever."
You
Yes.
just thought they were saying hi. It's just a different
Yeah,
way
I
of
was like,
saying hi.
"Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm
go
good.
on."
How you doing, mate? Tapioca? Yeah, you've already
Yeah,
asked me how I
yeah,
am.
you've already
I'm
said that,
good.
Julie.
What's up?
Yeah.
Tapioca. All right.
And they put tapioca in it, and that's what I don't like in bubble tea. Right? It's like the
Yeah.
gummy little,
And they don't
and
pop.
it was
they don't burst.
disgusting. They don't
was,
pop. They're just chewy.
It was like
Horrible.
having frog spawn in your mouth. It was like I
It was
thought I was
horrible.
murdering frogs in my mouth, and I wasn't. And no one should have to feel like that.
And for that, I accept that it was awful. You have to try it without the tapioca. I promise
also
you.
just kind of don't
great. It's fucking
like
great,
the
man.
whole thought of bubble. Like, I find it weird. I think
It
look,
is
if I want
weird.
those flavors in my drink, I'll just order a drink with those flavors. I don't need them to burst in my mouth or pop.
but
I get it
it's
as a
just
fun.
fun.
thing. I get that. I just like
It's
look,
nice.
there's got to be a more efficient way of having a nice drink than bubble tea.
Look,
It's a fad.
it is novelty, but it's fun and nice novelty that I'm addicted to.
Yeah,
So,
well, you know what? We can only hope you get the help that you need on that.
Yeah.
I back to Fanta because I completely forgot, but I asked our listeners what their favourite Fanta was, Nick. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear what they had to say? I know this isn't the most riveting.
I do want to hear though, because there's
democratic questions.
It definitely
it's been
weeds out the.
It's been unanimous.
Oh shit!
It has been unanimous, Nicholas.
Right? Can I guess?
Yeah, it's not hard, is it, mate?
Lemon.
Well, I take back what I just said immediately because it clearly is hard because you got it completely wrong. Yeah, fruit twist. Everyone loves fruit twist.
I feel like that's a British thing, isn't it?
Even the like for instance, Ben at Wen Bells and said, despite the range of wild fizzy flavour delights on offer, fruit twist takes the cake. So he's accepting that there are some good flavours there. But
he likes to sometimes treat himself to an anonymous flavour of joy.
Yeah, exactly. And why should you? Why should you limit yourself? Yeah, it's all variety is a spice of life, But at least he knows that it's the right one.
Twist.
But then, Noah Howells says the correct answer is fruit twist. You're right, mate. You're right. And then Joe said fruit twist on the rocks.
On the rocks.
I'll be ordering that as soon as we can leave.
I'll get that when we go to a really cool. We'll go to the coolest bar we can find. I'll say, I got this, mate, and I'll go up and say,
don't worry,
fruit twist on the rocks.
And they'll look at you for a second and they'll be like, I think this guy's now the CEO of this bar. Do bars have CEOs?
Hop behind. Well, I mean, it's a business. Not the bar wouldn't have.
Well, the actual bar.
The company might. I mean, if it's a big company,
you'd get promoted immediately to CEO of the company because of the sheer balls of asking for a Fanta fruit.
And
twist
it is ballsy. It is ballsy.
Do you reckon anyone's ever done that?
No. Cool. On its own.
Well, that's an open and shut case. Nice.
There we go. Fun. No one's asking for a Fanta fruit twist on the rocks.
Exactly. So, let's talk a little bit about some other stuff then this week because we've got an hour to kill here. I was on. In fact, you know what? Before that, let's just look. If you're listening to this and you haven't already, subscribe and follow. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Why are you not already?
Yeah. What? Yeah, that's actually disgusting, to be honest. So do that. Leave us a review and go follow us on socials. Just search All Fart No Poop on whatever social you want, and we will be there.
Good idea.
That was rapid. Let's move on. So I was in London yesterday. I mean, I am always in London.
You live in London, Stu.
I was in Central. I was in Central London, right? I was cruising through Central London with an Uber. In an Uber. Yeah, I was walking
you were next to it outside. Just
he was driving a bit slower. I was walking a bit faster. We matched our pace and we strolled through. It was like ghost riding the whip. No, I was in an Uber going back from a shoot, and I was, it was quite warm and. I'm just realising this isn't linked at all to the.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
To the topic, but I wanted to talk. I think it is. I think I did link it somehow in my mind. But I saw loads of people walking along the street. Quite busy actually in Central nowadays. Certainly more so than it was at the peak of lockdown. Lots of people in their shorts, and I suddenly thought like shorts, right?
Yeah.
Are like face masks for our butts, aren't they?
A little bit. I would argue a little bit more than just a face mask.
Well, they are, but so this was, and quite. I mean, you're doing it spectacularly, Nick. This was almost exactly my train of thinking, and it took me to thinking, okay, so why is it more? Because clearly it's not just a face mask for our butt. It's because we have to cover it. We have to cover it. And then I was thinking, clothes, right, are really weird. Like they're actually really weird. Why have we as a society evolved to the point where it's just like we have to wear clothes, but we're just putting fabric on ourselves? Why?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm no historian here, mate, but I'm pretty sure it's got to be something to do with like historically like protecting ourselves.
Well, I imagine that's how it started. Yeah, and
being cold and shit.
And like I've got no. Look, I'm not saying it's weird to have armor if we need to, but like,
but it is weird.
Isn't it weird when you really think about it that we? Yeah. Every day, just everyone's routine. You're not even thinking about it. Like, I've got to put some clothes on. I've got to go out. I've got to put some clothes on.
This is why,
why not? Just not.
To further extend that, clothes. When you think about weird thing, but they it makes sense how we would have made those steps as a society. But it doesn't make sense how we even thought that socks were a thing. All right, because hear me out. Shoes, get it. Protect your feet. You go outside, whatever.
Yeah.
But socks.
What are you on about, mate? I'd actually say that socks are probably the most obvious clothing to have because if you're going to wear shoes, which are in a similar fashion, probably the most obvious thing to wear. If you're going to go out naked, you're probably going to want to protect your feet because the floor's a bit rough. If you're going to wear shoes, you've got to have socks on some of them.
But
Otherwise,
I'm
you're
talking
just
like
going
the
to
traditional. But I'm talking that the bridging that gap before, like when they first because like clothes, and I'm not saying that there wasn't a gap to bridge from just being naked all the time to wearing clothes, but
yeah, it was just it was immediately just suit.
You can wear shoes without socks. After a while, it will hurt, but you just can. So it's like, why did they not invent shoes that didn't need socks?
Well, sandals exist, Nick, and I would actually posit that I don't have any actual knowledge of this really, but I'm assuming that the first shoes probably were shoes that didn't need socks.
And actually, thinking about this right now, I've never thought about this until right now.
Okay,
but
go on.
Why haven't they just made shoes that just have socks and the inner lining?
Well, they do exist,
slip on,
right?
and then
They've got like boots with fur in them. You could wear them without socks.
But this is my train of thought. Like the sock in general is there to kind of be that middle ground between your foot and the shoe, so it doesn't chafe, so it doesn't hurt. So but if the sock was attached to the shoe? So, for example, if you put a sock on and then you don't
need to explain it, Nick. I fully understand what you're suggesting.
But if you put a sock on, glued all over it, whacked it in a shoe, that just becomes a shoe. So would you have to wear another sock inside that? Otherwise, what's the point of wearing a sock?
No, because you've put a sock in a shoe, Nick.
Yeah,
if you did have to wear another sock, you're bloody mental, mate. You
what I'm
just
saying
glued a sock to a shoe. It becomes a shoe with a glued sock in it, Nick. That's
so
what it
why
becomes.
can't they just make shoes with an inner lining like a sock, and then you don't have to ever worry about socks? When you're wearing shoes, I guess you still have to.
I think that sounds a bit weird. I would rather just have a choice of socks and put.
Yeah,
them in
I agree.
But I see your point. But to come back around full circle, clothes are weird, right? I'm not I just really thought about it. I was like, this is just a strange thing.
It's like
we
second
all wear
skin.
Clothes. Yeah, it's a second skin.
Further from that, accessories. Like
well,
rings and
makes
necklaces.
a bit more sense because we want to look nice, we want to have fun with it. I understand accessorizing. Like, even if we went out naked, we'd still probably be like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, I might put a little boa around my dick.
I might swap out the piercing on my jeb end.
Oh my God!
That was
oh my.
As those words came out of my mouth, when you're like if you
regret,
could picture,
immediate regret.
I was immediately trying to pull them back in. And
you can't. You've said it on a podcast that I'm not going to cut out.
So we'll move past it. Clothes are weird. And this week we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories.
No, we're not.
Not consider.
Yeah. Oh my God, mate. For a second, I was like, "Oh shit! I've literally done the wrong thing."
Right. Look, and we'll go back. We won't edit this out. What I meant to say there was coincidences.
Wow.
God,
yes,
they do sound similar though, don't they?
I mean, they have a C and O at the beginning of it. That's pretty much where it ends.
You're telling me coincidence and conspiracy don't sound like similar words?
In literally the way that they open the same way.
This goes to the top.
So
maybe we are talking about conspiracy.
The ultimate conspiracy theory.
No, we're going to talk about coincidences because I don't know about you, Nick, but I certainly think that coincidences are good
pretty
fun.
Crazy, pretty coincidental. I agree.
There's a whole bunch of them online. There's a whole bunch of them in history. I thought we'd go through, would find them, and we'd just have a good sift
time
through them. Now, I do find with a lot of coincidences, like I don't actually know what it is that makes all the difference between a coincidence being whoa and a coincidence being fucking so.
Yeah, and I would like to
mostly they're not.
Yeah.
But
and
sometimes you're like, oh, that's weird.
I was going to say that, and also in my research of coincidences, there's a very fine line, especially in the internet, between a coincidence and just like luck, and just like stories of people that are just lucky. And you're like, well, is that a coincidence?
Yeah.
But I guess it is. So it's quite a vague
broad
term.
It's a broad playing field on that front. So some people I've saw a story and I'd just be like, well, that's not blown my mind at all, but some people were responding like, "Oh my God, this is crazy! You can make a movie about this," and it'll be like, wow, this morning I had a dream about some sunny weather, and what happened this afternoon? The bloody sun came out, didn't it?
The bloody sun. Well, I will
guess
say
it is a coincidence, but it's not gonna fucking
it's not
blow
gonna,
anyone. It's not gonna blow any producers'
It's not gonna
socks
be.
off.
It's not gonna break box office records. Am I right?
Yeah, it's not gonna have a Greatest Showman style run where you can't get out the cinema for a fucking decade, mate.
And nor should it.
No, nothing should.
I was going to say though that the first one that I found.
Yeah, go on.
I'll kick it off. It is actually pretty fucking nuts. Like this, I feel like this could be a film in some way. Again,
yeah, I'm
maybe not
excited.
an interesting film, but it could be, you know?
Yeah.
So this is my one. Number one, I've got the separated twins with almost identical lives.
Oh, I've heard about this one.
Right?
Isn't this?
Yeah.
Isn't there a few of these? I don't know.
Well,
Go on.
I don't know, but all I've got is this little paragraph here that I found. So this is it basically. So there's a set of twins from Ohio who were separated at birth, all right?
Yeah.
And they grew up without any knowledge of each other's existence. So that's the main thing here. They had no idea that each other existed, okay?
Yeah.
Although their lives did, however, share a number of strange similarities / coincidences. This first one's weird enough, all right?
Okay.
They were both named James by their adopted parents.
Yeah, that is a weird coincidence.
So that's already like
That's a good one,
okay.
but that's it. Like that coincidence itself, I quite like because it's not huge, it's not mind blowing, but it is like because it's like it makes sense. It's a common name, but it's still
well,
like
mate,
weird, isn't it? I know enough
much
people
like
not called
the
James.
peeling. Yeah, exactly.
To make that weird.
The fact that they are like they couldn't be more related,
Yeah.
and they both were given that name without knowing each other.
Yeah.
Okay, but much like an onion, peel away the layers, you find more coincidences here.
Oh my
because the next
goodness.
one, they both grew up to become police officers.
Okay. Oh my
Okay.
word. All right.
So another layer here, and then both of them married a woman named Linda.
Wait,
No
yeah,
joke.
That is weird.
This is weird. Okay,
Does it keep? Don't tell me it keeps going, Nick.
but that's not all.
Oh, you
It
should have warned me. I
keeps-
need to change my
keeps
pants.
going. Okay, here we
Okay.
go. This is fucking mental, right?
Right.
Each of them had a son. All right,
Shut up. Are they? No, you need to shut up. This is not.
and both of the sons they named James Allen. All right, and I will
know
say
James
this:
Allen.
different spelling.
Right.
So the first one was named James Allen with 2 L's in Allen, and
Okay.
the other one was called James Allen with just 1 L.
Weirdly, I think
Still-
that makes it weirder.
A
because
little
it like
bit weirder,
Makes
yeah.
it. Yeah. I don't know why.
Almost
but
like
it
they were
does.
like purposefully trying that they knew somewhere that there was their
Yeah,
other
yeah, exactly,
long
like,
lost twin had made.
fucking
and
whack.
they each. This is the point where I'm like, I don't know if I believe this, but it has sources. This
Okay.
is a real story.
Okay.
They each also had a dog named Toy.
Shut up! What is going on here?
Hey,
There
sit
are
back
so
down.
many names in
Yeah,
this planet.
yeah. Well, Stu, you
couldn't have
buckled
gone
down
with
for
at
s-
least. You couldn't have called it Fanta, Shikata, Shikata.
You couldn't,
could you?
yeah. Look, honestly, there's a lot to pick from, but
on.
I'll tell you what else happened.
Stop
They both later got divorced. All right,
Okay. Well, that's a sad twist of the story.
that's a sad twist of the story.
All right.
And they both ended up remarrying women
No.
named Betty.
No.
How?
What is
How,
this?
right? That bridges, like, even after the first coincidence there,
Yeah.
it bridges the gap between, like, that's pretty quirky.
You get to
like,
a point where you're like,
what?
this is terrifying now.
Like, that's actually like there's got to be something like intrinsically linked to them as like tiny as they're like grow like short. Although it's not them being named. Like,
yeah, I would say that about the police officer thing because maybe there's something
might-
in them
yeah.
that pushes them towards that path. But names, they're
Yeah.
not in control of their wives' names.
yeah, or they're not in control of their parents calling them the same
Exactly.
name.
So that is legit nothing more than a coincidence, but it's a bloody crazy one.
I almost feel like we've gone in hard on the first one because that's like
know.
so many coincidences.
Do you want to
in
hear?
one.
That's like, yeah, that's a few. Here's another one that's got well, when it's not a few coincidences, it's just one. But it's a
Yeah.
historical one, Nick.
Okay, go on.
Right. Have you heard of Violet Jessup?
Don't think so.
Well, you're about to know so.
Was it the person that started the tech chain Jessup's?
If it was, that is
What a
a story to
coincidence.
tell. They have a background which I
Yeah.
don't know, you'd plaster it over every shop, and they haven't,
true.
so it's not.
It's very true.
So Violet Jessup, she was a nurse and an ocean liner stewardess, Nick. She was nicknamed, I'll tell you her nickname at the end, but she was a nurse and a stewardess. Do you want to know which ship she was a nurse on first?
Okay, famous ships. I know, Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic.
Fucking hell, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Okay.
guess that's not really hard.
So she was on the Titanic.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you what happened to that old thing, but
yeah.
big crashy iceberg. This is a horribly belittling way to describe a horrible, senseless tragedy in which many
Yeah.
people died. But so Titanic went down. Don't need to explain it to anyone. She survived it. Okay, you're thinking, well, I'm sure a few people did survive it. Grown-up Kate Winslet survived it in the film I watched.
She survived it.
She did,
I mean,
and she survived it long enough to go at the end.
yeah, I wish we could
her.
say the same for our dear friend Leo.
Yeah, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the Titanic.
I
but
mean, if you haven't seen Titanic, what are you doing?
exactly. Who are you?
You've had so many years to watch
Yeah, you
it.
don't get to turn up now and go, "What? I didn't know that he died."
Yeah.
Come off it, all right?
Yeah.
Even if you haven't seen it, you
Sit-
know deep
yeah.
down Leo dies.
Step off the porch, mate.
Right. So Violet Jessup survived the Titanic, and then in 1916, 4 years later, she was a nurse and an ocean liner stewardess on the HMHS Britannic. Now, I'd heard of that ship before.
Is Britannic as in the one that's in
Britannic.
Bristol?
Britannic was the sister ship of the Titanic,
Oh,
which also crashed and sank.
I learned
Many
about this when I
people
went to
died.
the Titanic Museum.
And she survived it as well.
Okay.
And then there was a third boat she was a stewardess on after the Britannic called the RMS Olympic, which crashed into a warship on the ocean, sank, people died, and she survived it.
Right. So this is the thing.
That's
It's
it.
definitely coincidental that she keeps being on things that crashes, but the whole story of it it's more like luck.
It is just lucky. This is exactly what you were talking about. The line
this
between
is what
luck
I was
and
saying.
coincidence. It's not much of a coincidence. It's just like, wow, lucky.
But
lucky old Jessup.
I'll say this: I've never heard of someone so simultaneously unlucky and lucky at the same
I
time.
know, like she has a real habit for coming into horrible amounts of
awful
unluck
situations,
and then
yeah.
getting out of it all right.
and then being so lucky on the other end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, bet she's got some well good stories to tell.
Yeah.
She's probably dead now, right? That was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean the Titanic was what 112,
It was 1912, wasn't it?
112, Nick, did you just say?
No, I was going to say it was like
Yeah,
100
who
and
could
something
forget the
years.
Titanic as it took its maiden voyage on the year 112
112.
AC.
Yeah, it's just like a stick floating in a river with people on it. Like,
Done like
"We've
the River
made it."
Jordan.
Yeah, they don't have the skills.
It was
to do that.
1912 Titanic. So if she's not alive, is she?
She's definitely dead.
She was a stewardess.
Rest in peace.
She's like at least 100 years old. If
But
she's
she might
alive,
be. She might be well old.
if she's alive, I bet she. Well, I mean, she probably can't do anything because of her age and physicality, but I bet she'd probably steer clear of all bodies of water now,
Would you
including a
wanna know
bath.
I think I know what she would do if she was alive.
What?
She'd probably ask you what you had for breakfast.
Maybe.
Do you want to tell me what you had for breakfast?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Guess I will.
What did you have for breakfast? I know what I had. Right, well, Stu, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had a cup of coffee and a Sainsbury's jam donut.
Nice. Unhealthy, but nice.
Yeah, sometimes you got to have those, you know.
I thought you were going to say apple again.
No, I thought I'd mix things up for you.
Oh, that's really nice of you, man.
I'll have an apple tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Nice. What did you have?
I didn't have breakfast,
Well,
but I did have a slightly earlier lunch.
this segment is not called "What did you have for early lunch?" It's called "What did you have for breakfast?" I will hear nothing more of it. This segment is over. All right, well, that was what we had for breakfast. Illuminating, cut short by someone's fucking inadequacy.
I'm sorry,
We'll push past it.
I really should do better.
You should do better, but you know what? You can probably bring yourself back, Nick, from that by giving us another absolute slam dunk of a coincidence that you found.
I'm glad you gave me that as the opportunity to bring it back, because I do have another slam dunk
I
right
should
here.
bloody hope so, mate.
And this one is it's about Mark Twain.
Oh, right. I think I know
Right.
this one. I think I know
Okay.
this one.
Okay. Well, maybe our viewers don't.
Maybe
So
they don't.
basically, Mark Twain predicted his own death.
Wasn't it something to do with like a comet or
So
something?
yeah. So here we go.
Halley's Comet.
The writer was born.
I'm just saying buzzword.
I was going to say, have you read? Are
Look,
you reading
I prove
the
it.
exact
I'm proving
same-
it. I know the story.
Yeah, right. Writer was born. Writer?
Right. Oh,
The-
who could forget everyone's favourite writer?
Writer was
who
born.
wrote such classics as Book.
Yeah. The writer was born in 1835, right? When Halley's Comet was passing the Earth. Also, I always thought it was Halley's Comet.
Yeah, I don't know because it's spelt with
But-
two L's in it, so it would be said Halley, but it does sound like
Halle
Haley.
Berry. Halle Berry's comet was passing the
let's call
Earth. Right? It only passes every 76 years or so, okay, is the main thing here.
Yeah.
But Twain predicted that he would die on its next passing, all right? Because he came into, well, I mean, here we go. The quote from 1909 was,
cool.
he said, I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. And he did go out with it. He died on the very day of its appearance in 1910.
That is a wild coincidence. Even wilder that he predicted it.
That
Mark
is,
Twain, man.
I-
What a crazy
I would
man.
I'd raise this though. What's to say he didn't just
Kill
like he
himself.
said he was going to die when it happened? That's like me being
That's
like,
so true.
Oh
I
my
didn't
god,
even think about
I'm
that.
I'm going to die in 2 years on this day, and then I'll just on
Then
that
you
day
just
just
die.
like
How
I don't know.
predictable was Halle Berry's comet? Like, was it? Did it? Was it spun? Was it like we don't know when it's gonna? When it's
No,
gonna see
yeah,
it?
it's a comet. It's every like 76. Oh yeah, is it like an exact? It's every 76.
Well, I'm just
years?
saying, yeah. If they knew the day it would come, yeah, then your
Also-
your hypothesis is correct. That he probably could just top himself on that day, and everyone would be like, "What a mentalist!"
Well,
I
the
assume
truth-
there's some kind of luck and spontaneity to it, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. This kind of proves my argument wrong.
Right.
He died of a heart attack.
You could
So
give
I-
yourself
it's-
one of those, right? You
I
could
feel like, yeah, but I mean, could you like to
you
the,
could drink
to a day?
You could drink 27 mugs of coffee, and then push yourself down a staircase.
You think Mark Twain in 1910 drank 26 cups of coffee and then pushed himself down a stairwell?
Can you disprove it?
Fuck, man.
I'm saying it
Fuck.
here. Yeah, honestly,
Shit.
he did it.
We need to
I'm gonna
change
change his. We need to
lanes.
change his Wikipedia.
We need to change lanes and become a
Everything you
historical
knew about
podcast.
Mark Twain is false. Here's why. Read
He
on to find
died.
out how he died.
No,
Read
just-
on to find
just
out
nothing-
which coffee brand Mark Twain used to give
Yeah.
himself a heart
No,
attack.
there's
on the day of Halle
absolutely
Berry's coffee.
yeah, Starbucks spoiler. But
Oh,
there's
yeah.
nothing on his Wikipedia except he died drinking 26 cups of coffee. It's
That's all you need to know. He's not
I
done
only
anything
came here to
else
learn
of-
about his
He's
very
done nothing of
famous.
value, mate. When you drink 26 cups of coffee and throw yourself down the stairs to give yourself a heart attack, you know, you kind of
everything else
diminishes everything
before
else
is
in your
gone.
career, right?
Yeah, you've peaked at the end.
Well, look, let's talk about some more real people that happened in history that had some more coincidences. Have you heard the one about John Wilkes Booth, Nick? This is a very famous one.
Well, I'm not sure. I've definitely heard about John Wilkes
Right.
Booth.
Okay. Well, if anyone listening doesn't know who John Wilkes Booth is, if you need a reminder, he's the dude that killed Abraham Lincoln. If you don't know who that is, well, you're a bit lost, mate. But,
My friend, step into a library and learn.
So the year before John Wilkes Booth, killed Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth's brother, called Edwin, saved the life of Lincoln's son, Robert Todd, when the latter was about to fall into train tracks. So a year before he killed him, his brother saved his son. That is a weird little coincidence, huh?
So it's almost like there were like two parallel versions of him. One was a complete cunt, and one was a nice guy.
Yeah, but it's his brother, so like
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like
no,
how,
yeah,
how
exactly.
strange that your
the
connection,
same blood went
Yeah.
in two different ways, which were connected to another family's life. That's pretty
yeah,
wild, isn't it?
connection to another family.
I
is
find
that
like
you've done the
connections like
complete
that is
opposite.
weird, like people crossing paths with other. It's crazy. Isn't
That is weird. It's much like that film Changing. No, fucked it.
yeah, you really have.
I was going to say it's much like that film Sliding Doors, but I don't know actually upon reflection in how it even slightly relates
Yeah,
to
we'll
Sliding
go.
Doors.
We'll move past it, and I'll just give you a good thumbs up. I've
Thank
got some.
you.
Listen, we're on. Have you got any more historical ones? I'm trying to think. We could balance them together because I've got a few like history ones, which I think we could just
me have a
churn
little
through
look.
real quickly.
No, but I've got no. Yeah, give us some history
Yeah,
ones.
let's pause. Let's have some more history ones. Let's have some real life ones. So, World War One. We've all heard of it. We don't want to go back. It began, as you may know, with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Austria.
Love it.
A bit of a
Everyone's favourite band.
history lesson. Here we go. Right, so this little coincidence is a weird one, but it is also just like, this is sort of very finely dancing that line of like, it's just
Well,
a
thanks
thing.
for sharing with us, Stu.
Shut up. So, Franz Ferdinand died in Austria. He was assassinated, kicked off World War One. So, the license plate of the car on which he was riding at the time of his death, so when he was killed, the license plate was A111118, right?
Okay.
Apparently. Now, this is where someone fact checks it and goes, "That's not true," but I'm just assuming this is true because it's the internet and they've never lied to me before. So that was the license plate of the car in which he died in, A111118. Now, World War One officially ended on Armistice Day, which its date was 11th of the 11th, 18, right?
Yeah.
So A for Armistice Day, 111118. So
I mean, yeah,
it
that's
ended on the date which was on the license plate of
when
the man who was
when it
murdered,
technically started.
which kicked it off.
I feel like that's one of those ones where like that is a bit booky and weird and strange, a bit
Yeah.
of a coincidence, but it is also one of those ones which you can pretty much, it feels a bit smushed into to try and get it into that
with
coincidence, do you know what I
like
mean?
numbers and dates. You can always find a weird link that maybe isn't a weird link. It's like you can find numbers
Or like
and
you
dates in
can
anything,
flip
really.
a month and a day to make it in the right. Like,
Exactly.
it's like cool. Like
As I said previously, I didn't really research that one any further than reading it, so I might
Yeah.
be wrong. It might be just something that someone's chosen in, but weird. Here's another one. Back on old World War One. God damn it. Let's get away from this old hellhole.
just get the heck out of
So,
there.
in the midst of World War One, the British Army converted the passenger ship RMS Carmania into a battleship, right? So, passenger ship turned into a battleship called the Carmania. To
Yeah.
avoid enemy fire, it was disguised to look like a German ship, the SMS Trafalgar.
Okay.
So you have a Carmania disguised to look like a Trafalgar. In 1914, the Carmania sank a German ship off the coast of Brazil. The ship which it sunk was the Trafalgar itself, which had itself been disguised to look like the British Carmania by the
So
Germans.
So they basically, like, quote unquote, like sunk each other.
Yeah, kind of.
But
It sunk the ship that it was trying
pretending
to get away from being. It's like it swapped roles and
Is
the other
that-
person swapped roles.
Is
and
that
then
a coincidence?
Well, it kind of hurt my head a bit. I think it is because it's
like
just one of those
just a
weird
bit like
things, isn't it?
interesting, but it's
Yeah.
not like because they. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, well,
give you
it doesn't
that.
sound too impressed. What about this one, Nick? The first man to die during the building of the Hoover Dam was J.G. Tierney on December the 20th, 1922. The final man to die during the project, so the building of the Hoover Dam, was
yeah.
Patrick W. Tierney. His son, in 1935, also on December the 20th. So
That is
the
weird.
first and last
Yeah.
person to die building the Hoover Dam was a father and then his son on the same day.
That's
Just-
weird. That's
just,
fucked.
What? 13 years apart.
That's
a
pretty
coinkydink.
weird, but also the way that they tell that as if it's like the first and last person to die makes it sound like it's like normal on every construction for like
Yeah.
loads of people to die. The first person to
Yeah.
die on this site is this person.
Well,
and
it
the last
is, isn't
person
it? Especially if you're doing a project like the Hoover Dam, mate. You wouldn't.
Especially
like-
at that in those days.
It's like when you drive through Dubai, and you're like, I don't think any of you have ever even seen a safety regulation because it's
Yeah.
mental. And in fact, I mean, it's a sour note, but a lot of people do die building skyscrapers in Dubai. So
Thank you for
So let's
bringing
put
that
ourselves back
somber
for that.
note upon us all.
look, that's probably it on the historical ones. I'm just gonna. I could
Can-
get back to you, but I've got a funny one that I just.
I was going to say, do I get a turn here?
No, this is a me show. It's a me show.
You don't
Right,
get to do it.
this I shouldn't laugh, but it made me laugh, and I may be completely alone. So there's a South African astronomer called Danny de Toit, and she gave a lecture on how death can strike anyone.
Oh
at
my
any
God,
time.
this is...
It's a he. Sorry. So Denis de Toit gave a lecture on how death can strike anyone at any time. Upon the completion of his lecture, de Toit popped a mint into his mouth and it slid into the back of his throat, causing him to choke to death on the spot.
That's like.
It's a coincidence, and I shouldn't laugh. I know I shouldn't laugh.
Look,
It's a person dying, but I have to
I
laugh.
would feel like eternally scared if I was ever in a lecture room watching someone give a lecture on how you can die at any given
Right,
like,
I want to know how long it took people to actually be like, oh, this guy's genuinely dying.
yeah,
Because
you'd think it was a joke.
You would think it was. If you're in a
100%.
lecture and they've just spent an hour saying you could die at any moment, and then they collapsed and died.
You'd be like, this man's a joker.
Yeah, you'd be like, absolutely good one, mate. Good one,
You'd be like,
Professor
fucking
Danny Detroit. Get the fuck
Yeah,
up.
Professor
Right, we've got other
Detroit's
lessons
a
to get
joke.
to.
Yeah, get
He's
up.
just-
I've paid money to be here.
Yeah,
alright?
you'd call up the ambulance, right? And I reckon they'd be like, what's going on? And you'd be like, listen, this guy's given a whole talk on how you could die any moment. He's just dropped down dead. They'd be like, all right,
cool.
hang up
Well,
now, mate.
Thanks
Stop
for the
pulling my
prank
thumb.
call. Yeah,
Stop
see
pulling
you.
my finger, you little
We've got
shit.
people in actual situations to deal with,
Call
mate.
us when there's a real problem. We haven't got time for this. And
We
then
ain't-
old Detroit's on the floor. I wonder how long it took him to get. Maybe he could have been saved.
Maybe
Sadness.
we will
Right,
never know.
Do you want to give us? Do you want to give us some more quinky dinks?
I'm going to give you one. This one's about Anthony Hopkins, right?
Oh, I love anything about Anthony Hopkins.
And it's the title of this one's The Case of Anthony Hopkins and a Rather Rare Book. right?
Oh.
So when Anthony Hopkins was preparing for his role in The Girl from Petrovka,
Okay.
I think that's how you say it, which is a film that I have never seen nor
I'd be willing to
heard
put
of.
money on the fact that that's not how you say it, Nick. But we'll go with
I'm
it.
going with it. The Girl from Petrovka, or Petrovka. Petrovka, let's do that.
Sounds right.
He wanted to find a version of the book written by George Pfeiffer so he could study it before filming began. You know, natural, normal.
Okay.
But wherever Anthony Hopkins looked, he couldn't find a copy anywhere, all right?
Okay.
Until I'm assuming just a super rare book, all right? Until
Sounds
one
like if
day...
you couldn't find a copy anywhere, and he's Anthony
it's
Hopkins.
just a
Like, I
definition,
feel like people
yeah.
like Anthony Hopkins just click their fingers and
and
people
they'll
are like,
get
here
it,
you go, have
yeah.
it.
Some
So
studio
it's
will be
gotta
like,
rare.
here it is. Yeah, so he couldn't find a copy anywhere until one day while he was sitting on a subway carriage, right? And he found a copy on the carriage in which he was traveling, right?
Right.
So cool, great, he's got the book now. But that's not the end of it, Stuart,
Oh my God, there's more.
because when Hopkins later met the author of the book,
Right.
Pfeiffer, the author, told him that he also didn't actually have a copy of the book anymore because he'd lent his last one to a friend
Right.
who had then accidentally lost it
Shut up.
on the subway.
So he found the last copy of a book.
Well, he
basically,
found
more or
the
less.
author's last copy. But the only thing with this is that there are a few sources on it, so I think it is a real story.
Okay.
But it's hard to tell whether it was the same book that someone just because I feel like the subways, you know,
Was it like-
there's so many
yeah.
subways every day. There's so many people it could just be another book lost. But I guess it probably is the same book,
Nick,
right?
are you going to accuse Anthony Hopkins, or beloved Anthony Hopkins, of lying?
Well, no, I'm not saying that his story is a lie.
I
He's
believe
definitely
him.
That's happened. But
Wow,
you know,
crazy.
what's to
That
say?
is- that is wild.
Either way, strong coincidence. There.
That is a strong coincidence. You don't want to know what else is a strong coinky doink?
Yeah.
This one from Anonymous. It's just a person. Like, I think it was on like BuzzFeed or something, and they were like, "Send in your best coincidences." So it could be fake.
This
Who
could be
fucking knows,
bullshit.
but it
I'm
sounds
ready for
wild.
it.
Right, here we go. I moved to a different city and got a job at a hotel. I met my boyfriend working at this hotel, and early in the relationship, we were talking about where we lived, and I mentioned my road that I lived. He said he'd just moved from there, and it turns out my boyfriend lived in the exact same room in the exact same house as me before I did. He literally moved out, and I moved in.
That's fucking mental.
That is weird. That I feel like that would be enough for me to be like, well, we can't be together.
That feels like it's almost intruding on like your personal life. Like that.
Yeah,
It
be like,
feels like it's
you
so.
might be a stalker, right? Like, there's a chance you're a stalker.
Also, and I have
You're an
no
accidental
way of.
stalker. It's worse.
Yeah. I have no way of explaining this thought. All right.
Right.
But it. Sorry, I'm gonna burp. Oh my!
Get it out.
Did you
of
hear that?
I did, Nick.
That
It
was
was
so
a-
loud.
It was a burp, and we all
That
heard
made
it.
me scared. Look, I have no way of explaining why I'm thinking this, but it
Right.
almost feels like it teeters on like one of those weird stories about like incest. and I have.
All right, I think that says a
simply
bit
have
more about you, Nick. Like after each one of these coincidences, you're like, that's really fascinating. Are they related and they fucked? No, Nick, it was just about the Titanic. No, I'm pretty sure he said something about the brothers and the sisters fucking.
I think
What
I
are you
heard
on
family
about?
fucking. No,
At
no,
no point in this story does it suggest they're related.
It reminds me of those stories where like it turns out
Family
they've met
fucked,
before
clearly.
and they're like actually like I
Yeah.
don't know something.
Yeah,
when
because
you're
there's quite a
thinking
few
about,
where it's like, turned out we were cousins.
I don't know why, but it feels like when it's the place you've lived and grown up or whatever.
All right.
It feels so linked to you as a person. It's
Yeah,
like if someone
yeah,
else shared that, it's like holy fuck, you've literally like shared the same.
Yeah, okay.
You have the same memories of like.
Okay,
when-
you've sort of clawed your way out of that weird
and I'm
incest
going to claw
hole
it out
there.
even more. It's
No?
like when you talk about like I don't know with your girlfriend, you talk about like oh yeah, when I was a kid, we used to have this like hilarious wallpaper in my room that was like and then he'd be like yes. I know exactly what you're talking about because I had the same room.
Before they find out, before they get to the part at the end of the story where they discover that he moved out and she moved in, you'd be like, what's happening here?
This is fucking wild.
Yeah, are you myself? But yeah, it's crazy.
True.
It's crazy.
Do you know what else is crazy, mate?
What is crazy?
The fact that each week we get a celebrity in.
That is
call
crazy.
In.
We don't
Pretty
talk
wild.
about it enough, but it's crazy.
We don't talk about it enough, but
No.
we do talk about it every week. But it's fine. And look, I think we just we hear whoever today's celebrity call-in is.
Let's do it.
Should we do it? It's time for celebrity call-in.
It's time for the celebrity calling. Celebrity calling.
That's right. It's everyone's favourite segment, a celebrity call-in.
Nice.
There's a celebrity caller on the line.
And guess
Don't know what
you
that
won't
was.
believe what happens when this celebrity calls in.
You will not believe what happens next. Number 25 will shock you.
Will shook you.
It will shock you to the very core. Look, last week we delved in deep with Daniel Radcliffe. He
HP
came
himself,
through.
boy who lived.
HP sauce, boy who lived came
Repping
through.
repping old Hoggy Watts.
Really great to talk to him. Less great to know that Michael Cera was with him. And if you haven't been keeping up to date with the ordeal with Michael Cera, he owns someone. He confessed.
You can go back and listen to various celebrity call-ins over the last 17 episodes. Find some stuff about it. You'll learn. But pretty much, Adam Sandler won Michael Cera in a poker competition, but it then turned out that Michael Cera owns another person that he won. We haven't found out yet.
We don't know who.
We just want to put it behind us. So
we want to put it straight behind because it seems like at this point he keeps getting our hopes up, but then something happens. We don't know what. We don't know who he owns. So
we don't.
So that was the sort of the cloud over us.
Yeah.
In the last episode.
This week. This week Nick's brought a celebrity to the table. We have since really refined our sort of process for how we find celebrities and how we vet them, because we're really determined not to let Michael. Because honestly, at this point, it feels like he's sort of taken us for a trip.
It feels a bit mean. It feels a bit mean on his part.
If he's not going to give us answers, we don't want to hear it. So we've vetted the celebrities a bit better, and I can only hope that Nick's celebrity this week is,
definitely, mate. It's we've got a good one. So I think we just
let's jump in.
Let's jump
Should
right in.
Should we see if they're on the line?
Let's see if they're on the line. So, I mean, celebrity. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, boys.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. I assume you're a man.
I'm a man, yes.
All right. You've got a weird. I'm not going to pretend to guess this accent. Introduce yourself.
Impediment.
Yeah, but I can hear it. Who is this?
I'm Louis Spence.
Oh, fuck. Louis Spence.
Spence, darling.
You know what, Louis? I don't mean this to sound insulting, but I forgot you were a person for a good 3 years there, I think.
That's so mean, Stuart. That's really mean, because I'm Louis Spence. I'm a fabulous dancer, fabulous man, and I'm very offended that you've forgotten about me.
No, it's just I don't feel like I've seen you in much. What have you been doing, Louis Spence?
Darling, I've been taking a break.
Okay.
A fantastic break. A break in living in Greece.
You've been living where? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I've been living in Greece.
In Greece.
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 Greece. Greece? Well, now it doesn't sound like you're saying Greece.
I've been living in Greece.
Are you... Louis, are you mocking your own speech impediment? Seems a bit... Louis, that seems horrible. Louis, you just... You're living in
No,
Greece.
it's not funny, darling. It's not funny. But there is a reason I called into the show.
Yeah? Okay, Louis, sorry.
Sorry, the mask's slipping. There's a reason I called into the show.
Okay.
I've been dancing my whole life.
Yeah,
My
no,
whole
you
life, darling.
very flamboyant and look, you fantastic to watch. I mean, I actually think you're a kind of heartwarming. Like you spread a lot of joy. Louis.
Ooh,
Yeah.
thank you, darling.
Yeah.
Well, I dance a lot Pineapple Studios.
You dance a lot. Pineapple Studios.
Pineapple Studios, darling, it's where Louis Spence likes to dance.
Oh, okay. That's your dance studios. Yep.
Basically, I run dance sessions fortnightly. And I just had something a bit of information to give you guys. I've been listening to podcasts a lot.
Okay.
I've got some information to give
Oh.
you guys.
Okay. In regards to what we've had a few different. Is it about a previous celebrity calling?
Well, I'll tell you this much for free.
Okay. Okay, Louis.
A couple of weeks ago,
Right.
doing my dance classes in Pineapple Studios,
Okay.
and who else should walk in other than Michael Cera?
Michael Cera. Wait.
Well, this is it.
Wait, Louis Spence, Michael Cera walked into your dance studios
Yes,
in is that in England?
in Covent Garden.
Okay, so he's in the UK.
So he's in the UK, exactly. There's a bit of information there which I thought might help you to.
So
piece
that makes
together.
sense because he was with Daniel Radcliffe last week, and I just
Right.
assumed that Daniel lives in abroad, but maybe he was
No.
back in London.
House in Fulham.
Okay, so Michael Cera was in Fulham.
No. Daniel Radcliffe owns a house in Fulham. So that's why Michael's in the UK.
Okay,
Anyway, cutting a long story short,
Right.
I saw Michael Cera in my dance class of all
Yeah.
other places.
yeah.
And
Did
who's
you
there?
ask him?
No, but there was someone with him, Stuart.
Okay, it was all right.
And it looked like, well, I don't really have any way of confirming this, but
Okay.
it looked like Michael Cera walked into my dance class with a man with a shackle around his arm.
He walked into your dance class with a
Yes.
man with a shackle.
Yes.
And what, a chain that Michael was
Well-
holding?
Well, I thought nothing about it at the time. But I remember saying to my colleague, just before we did the 1-2 tango slide,
Okay, everyone's favourite.
oh, looks like he owns him. But then, listening to your podcast, I realised
You,
he does own someone.
Michael Cera walked into your dance studios literally with a man with shackles. He
Yes.
actually, I didn't think it was that. He has a
He
slave.
literally owns someone. Oh, Stuart.
Well, let's not beat around the bush. Let's call it what it is.
Well, this is the thing. I saw the man.
Okay,
That's
who was?
all I remember. It was a man.
Who
He
was the
owns
man?
Another man. I don't know.
So
Couldn't
is-
see his face for long enough.
You didn't see his face long enough,
I
or
just wanted to
or
share
he
that
wasn't
piece of-
famous enough to know. You just didn't know who he was.
Oh, darling, I just wanted to share that piece of information.
Okay. Wow, that is. Well,
there something
thanks
you
for
can
that,
do
Louis.
with that?
Thanks. That's really helpful.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, who could it? Any other distinguishing features about him?
He has an unhappy look on his face.
He had an unhappy look on his face. Can't imagine he's that thrilled.
Like he was remembering something.
Remembering something as he walked in. As he walked into the studio.
Pensive.
Pensive.
Louis Spence.
Louis Spence.
Well, darling, I do have to go because another dance class in 10.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
really wanted
Okay.
to get that.
Well, look. Thank you, Louis, so much for giving us that information. If anything else jogs your memory, I suppose just ring back in.
Yes, oh, darling, I will.
Friend of the show, Louis Spence.
Friend of the show, Louis
We can
Spence.
we call you that now, Louis? We can. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, friend
Oh,
of the
great.
show.
Great. We love having friends of the show.
Fantastic, darling. Well, do keep well. Stuart and Nick, I hope you do eventually find who he owns. But
Oh, yeah,
for
certainly
now,
hope so
this
too.
little tidbit of information is enough. Thank you, darling. Louis Spence out.
Wow.
That was
That was a bombshell.
crazy. I mean, look, we're starting to paint somewhat of a picture here. We know it's a man.
We know it. So I just can't quite believe that it's so literal. He
Well,
walked
that's
in
it.
with a man with shackles
It must have been
into a dance studio. Nothing adds up about this, Nick.
very wild. Well, we'll keep that piece of information for future reference because I think it could
Yeah.
help us to uncover something. And obviously, thank you, Louis Spence, for helping us, even though towards the end, it did sound like just a bad impression of yourself.
It did sound like a bad
It
impression.
sounded a lot like that, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. But I mean, hopefully, something else triggers and we can get a bit more of a glimpse. Because I mean, he actually saw. Like, it's not a hint. Like, he saw the man that Michael Cera owns.
Yes.
He just didn't get a good enough glimpse. I mean,
So
that's
it's
close.
real. It's confirmed it. We've always just heard it from the horse's mouth, but we've never
now
confirmed that
it's- Now it's real.
it was real.
Wow.
Makes it a lot
Bombshell.
darker. A lot darker.
It is a lot darker. Right. Okay.
Well, that was Celebrity Calling, I guess.
That was great.
It's time for the celebrity calling. Celebrity calling.
And just like that, we're done. We're done here.
We're done.
We're done. I'm done with you.
Pack your
Nick.
bags.
No, you. I'm calling you out. I'm done with you.
Oh, look. I keep coming home to the same bad language and bad food. We are done.
We are done. I cannot keep cleaning up cans of Stella from your lap, Nick.
A lap.
You
Look,
need to
my
stop
lap.
drinking that drink.
you know my lap holds a record amount of Stella. How dare you?
God damn it.
How dare you?
Oh, I'm lost. We need to finish this. Right.
We need to finish it.
Good episode. Fantastic Coinky Dink.
Thanks.
I had a lot more, so
Great.
maybe we'll do like a part
Maybe we'll
two.
do a part two for
If we can,
coincidences,
if we
or
can
as you
ever
said,
muster it within our souls.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Thanks for that conspiracy theory episode.
Great conspiracy theory.
If you've enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more, and you want them to handily pop up in the feed of whatever podcast listener app you use, you can just click subscribe and follow.
Definitely do
that. It's just that easy on Spotify.
I would recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Acast. I can't remember many other ones. They're
Lots
all
of
there.
them.
We're usually on it. Just click follow, subscribe. You won't miss a new episode. They go out every Friday. You can follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search All Fart No Poop Podcast. You'll find us there, and you can find us on all social platforms. Also, All Fart No Poop. It'll be at AFNP Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for any clips and fun little discussions on there. We're always asking people, what's up?
What's up? We're literally
up?
always asking people, what's your favourite
we
Fanta?
We can't stop asking people what their favourite Fanta is.
It's actually it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a
But
problem,
we're getting help. I think this new medication is going to really help with that.
I think it's going to do it this time because we're not giving the other sodas a chance.
We're not, and it's not fair. And
not fair.
actually, representatives from Pepsi Cola and
Yeah.
Dr Pepper and
Yeah,
all of
Epis,
the others and 7-Up, and who could forget a Sprite? They've all reached out and just said, "Look,
Yeah.
this really is not this is not fair.
It's not on.
And we'll be pushing legal action.
Pushing legal action. So everyone, of course, hashtag justice for Sprite.
Justice for Sprite. We
It
can't
really
leave them out.
deserves more. It deserves more.
And while you're at it, do please answer. What's your favourite Fanta? Oh fuck,
Oh, again!
Nick! Just put another 3 fucking
Again.
pills down my throat.